Greetings and salutations, fine people. I'm Patti Alvarez. Welcome to The Good Soul, a show where we'll have supercharged chats with everyday humans from all walks of life and unpack what in their story will inspire us all. We'll extract the untapped wisdom, distill it, and serve it up to you in all the right ways that will engage, enlighten, and most of all, inspire growth within your soul. I think people are awesome. So join me on this journey through the hearts and minds of ordinary people to uncover the good soul within you. This is The Good Soul. Welcome to The Good Soul. I'm Patti Alvarez, your host, and today we are on episode 78, diving into one of my favorite topics, how and why we meditate. If you've ever wondered how to meditate, why it matters, or what actually happens when we get quiet, this episode is for you. My guest today is my dear friend and Good Soul Yoga student, Wendie Dunn. She specializes in TM, meditation. She's also trained in teaching Chopra's Primordial sound meditation and Heartmath, which I'm anxious to learn about. A powerful heart-centered practice that blends science and spirituality. Together, we're going to explore the journey that led her into meditation and the many forms she's studied and taught, and the profound ways it can transform our hearts, minds, and everyday lives. And later, Wendie will even guide us through a short meditation, which you can join in. So I'm really excited about that part. So guys, wherever you are, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin. Welcome, Wendie.
I'm so excited.
So I'm excited to have you. Welcome. It feels so formal with the teleprompter. I'm sorry. She's all like, you got to sit there and like wait through it. But anyway, I'm glad you're here.
Well, I had 48 hours to prepare. 19 years of study. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And really like a lifetime of preparation, I would say too. I had a scheduling conflict with one of my other guests who's coming in on Thursday. So Wendie at the last minute pulled through for me. So thank you so much. Yeah, me too. Me too. We don't have Manny Cam here today. He's home with the HVAC guy, but I think we can handle with this. We have Bill in my ear. Let's get started. Share with me a bit about your background and what really drew you to yoga and meditation and what came first.
So yoga. We lived in Colorado in this cute little community, and I'd walk past the yoga studio to take my kids to school, and I'd go, oh, I can never do yoga. You know, one of those, I can't, I'm not flexible. I can't do yoga. And I was a runner. Well, my body was starting to fall apart. My husband bought me a Christmas gift for a month of yoga. Okay. So I tried it, and I was hooked. And a month later, they started a teacher training, and I asked if I begged them, and they're like, we usually want our students to have more experience, but yeah, we'll let you.
Oh, and what form of yoga was that?
That was just hatha.
Okay.
So hatha, flow yoga. And my teachers were really great. They brought in a lot of Kundalini yoga. So I was exposed to like some meditation back then. But to be honest, I just thought it wasn't up my alley. I really liked I was drawn to yoga by, asana being very hard and challenging. I'm
pushing boundaries.
Yeah, type A ADHD brain. And to sit, I remember in my training, we'd sit and have to meditate. I felt like I was crawling out of my skin. I had to itch and my mind was just all over the place. It felt like torture. So I did not like meditation. I used to think, why would I waste my time sitting there doing nothing? I've got so much to do. So that was my initial take on meditation, probably for the first 4 years of even being a teacher. I taught breath, but that was about it. Stop there.
So somebody once said to me, and I'm sure you've heard a version of this quote, that expecting the mind not to think is like expecting the oceans not to have waves, and that meditation isn't necessarily about being quiet, which I think speaks a lot to Transcendental Meditation, which we'll get into the details of everything, but that your mind really isn't going to stop, but it's like kind of being the observer, right? And letting the thoughts. I mean, would you agree? Is that the...
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why there's so many different types of meditation. But Zen meditations, meditations, Vipassana meditations, those are all about just observing the thought and making, I do have notes on that. The 3 rules of meditation.
Okay.
I can share.
Bring it, girl. Bring it.
So this one is, so the 3 golden rules of meditation, this is a really good one to share. I want nothing. So when you sit down to meditate and you think, I want nothing, it's a time to just kind of release all your desires for certain outcomes. And we all know how that can be very challenging, but something to work forward to. And it's not, just while you're meditating. Of course, when you go out in daily life, you can't just want nothing, but it's, if you can just acquire that mindset during your, say, 15, 20-minute meditation, that's where you'll begin to find the calmness of mind. The second one is do nothing. So, just observe your thoughts without effort. You just want to learn how to surrender to your thoughts. So like your thoughts are clouds and they're just like floating by. You can name them thoughts, just kind of label them, but don't hold on to them. Just let them just keep on floating by. And then I am nothing, meaning you move into that place of the watcher, where you surrender to the yoga practice and you're just kind of watching your thoughts. I think the goodie about that is that you learn you realize I am not my thoughts. And that's a huge awakening in the beginning. And you're like, I'm not my body. I'm not my thoughts. I am my soul. So, in yoga, you learn about the 3 parts of self. So when you are practicing meditation and yoga, it really opens you up to the present moment and the present moment magic. And when you begin to watch your thoughts, you just realize, I'm not my thoughts.
Well, that's it. Have you read Michael Singer's Untethered Soul? Which is part like basic. That, yes. I mean, that is such a profound and brilliant concept to be able to grasp the fact that your mind and the thoughts we have, most notably our fears and our insecurities, are almost like children at play or like monkeys in our minds. But I think probably what's so challenging about meditation, I think, versus yoga, and I think I speak for a lot of people when I say, and I own a yoga studio. Yoga, there's more of a tangible result. When you walk out of class, you are like, yes, I feel like Wonder Woman. I'm on top of the world. Or I was sad. I'm happier now. I had a headache. It's gone. Meditation is a very calm, subtle, very discreet. The benefits are not as like hard rushing as they are in yoga, I think. But if done properly and consistently, right, they're, I think, probably much more powerful, especially to the spirit. I would say, than the body. Yeah, correct? Well,
and I think mainstream is starting to catch on. More people are talking about meditation, and we have more science now that shows actually what a calm mind does for the body, like decreasing the stress hormones, increasing the feel-good hormones. Yes. And, so many studies now are just showing how meditation is actually changes our our bodies and our body chemistry, and it's becoming a great benefit, and many therapists are subscribing yoga.
Yeah, prescribing.
Meditation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, prescribing, not subscribing.
That's okay.
Well, they're subscribing and prescribing.
Translated. Yeah, we're subscribing to. But hang on one second.
Yeah,
you're not going to believe this. 30 seconds to go. So is that a quick thought you want to give me, or was that something we want to elaborate on more, what you were just going to say?
We can elaborate.
Okay, so let's wait. So I want to talk a little bit about how you had mentioned to me prior to the show, you had work in addiction recovery. And I want to talk to you about like the first time you really like, wow, meditation really does work apart from yoga. So guys, don't go away. We will be back for segment 2 of episode 78, Talking Meditation with the dear sweet Miss Wendie Dunn.
Thank you.
See you in a few. This segment of The Good Soul is brought to you by Aaron Fisnick, certified luxury home specialist with Ivester Jackson Christie's International Real Estate. Aaron serves all levels of the greater Lake Norman region real estate market, and whether buying or selling, she is very much the lady who will deliver like no other. Many of us at Good Soul are also really happy clients. Erin can be reached at 704-728-5657 or reach out to me and I'll get you guys connected. Thank you, Erin Fisnick, and thank you guys for tuning in and supporting The Good Soul. Hey guys, welcome back to The Good Soul, episode 78, titled How and Why We Should Meditate. And we were lucky enough to have Wendie here, who's given me all the scoop. Wendie, tell me what got you inspired and stoked. Not so much yoga. Most people know, everybody says do yoga. What got you inspired and stoked to do meditation?
Well, I had a lot of childhood trauma.
Okay.
So yoga initially started helping me just to relax. But then I started doing my, I'd show up at a yoga studio. I moved back to Utah where a lot of the trauma happened, and I would just start crying on the mat. And so then I started, because I was trained, I started taking my practice at home. And then I just started getting into the postures and crying and going, wow, my teachers were right. I do hold so much trauma in my hips. And I was just learning. And then I realized I needed to go and do more training. So I studied with Dana Baptist, which is Baron Baptiste's wife. And
no way.
I did 1,000-hour training with her, which was absolutely amazing. And
was that yoga or meditation?
Both. And it was therapy. It's yoga therapy. And so then I shifted.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 1,000 hours and just brought everything together. And then I shifted. I couldn't teach in yoga studios anymore. And I just started teaching in addiction recovery centers. I taught in a mental health hospital, and I just taught the power of breath because I could really get them to like ground in their bodies. We did mindful movement, and it was nothing more rewarding to have someone come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, for the first time I was able to escape my thoughts. Like I'm not my thoughts." And then there was a Rumi quote that said, "Why do you stay in prison when the doors are wide open?" Something like the doors to the inner sanctuary are within. And it just made me think, I'm like, within does not feel like an inner sanctuary for me, especially I was in menopausal hell. Let's just say the hormones were everywhere for me. And I just felt I was just coming undone everywhere. And so I just said, I just really need to find out what is this meditation stuff, because I really need to figure out how to calm my mind and find some silence.
Okay, riddle me this. When you were walking by that yoga studio in Colorado, did you realize how much of an impact this was going to have? Or did you think you were going in for washboard abs and tighten up your booty?
I even cry thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you in your studio is very, I just want to, if anyone thinking this is the most amazing studio.
Thanks.
I've traveled across the country with my kids. I've been in so many studios, so many teachers. And this is my safe place. It's like my sacred place. I do a lot of work here. You probably don't.
That makes me happy.
You don't realize a lot of it, but I've processed a lot of things. We'll get to something in the next session that, but I'm just so grateful that yoga meditation is a tool for me. It's like a tool I cannot live without.
Well, and you could bring those tools even in there during class, right? When you don't have loudmouth, annoying teachers like me in your face.
There's a purpose.
You taught me a lot, though, Wendie.
There's a purpose for all that.
And there was you taught me so much. Yeah, and you taught me so much. Just so you know, we'll talk about that off camera. But definitely, that was that was great for me. So anyway, okay, so. Did the Baptiste training come before or after TM and Chopra?
So before, and then I started working in, addiction recovery, and then my own demons, my own skeletons were jumping out of my closet.
Oh, I
they
know
were
that
just
all too
in
well.
there. They were jumping. So I'm like, okay.
They were tackling you.
They were tackling me. And so I was like, I got to get a grip on this. So I started what is mantra meditation? And I started investigating and reading a lot about higher states of consciousness. And I'm like, what is this? So there was a really big TM teacher. They're hard to find. And we had one in Utah. And so I paid my $1,000. I've got my personalized mantra. And I was part of that community for a while, but it just didn't settle. Like it just wasn't complete there. So I started reading about Chopra's primordial sound, and I started calling and saying, tell me about this. And I started comparing the differences. And I knew I was ready for something new. I wanted to teach meditation instead of yoga. And so It was interesting. I signed up right before COVID hit and everything shut down. I had signed up and had already started the training. I was a month in, and they'd only done 2 trainings, online trainings. I was their 3rd global online training. So when COVID hit,
Wow.
we just
This is the official TM.
No. Oh, sorry. This is Primordial Sound.
No, that was my bad. I knew that. I apologize.
No,
was Deepak involved in that training?
Since it was online, it was all videos. Everything was videos. We couldn't meet in person. But
there was no live. Was it live, like Zoom?
Live with Zooms, not with Deepak though. With his other founders.
Have you gotten to meet him ever?
I've been to one of his. I've been not personally, but I've been to a seminar type thing.
Okay. I met him. I did at a workshop. I went to Kripalu. I'm sure you've heard of Kripalu in Massachusetts. So I went to a workshop of his at Kripalu, and I had a very like pivotal moment for myself where I was sitting in the front row of his seminar, and he was like, draw a pie and write what you want. And I was like, if I write one more flip in time down what I want, the gods are going to come down. They're going to grab me by the throat and be like, we know what you want. Now go live your life. We're all working on it. So it was like, but he came out after this and sat and did like a meet and greet, and he would actually like eat lunch with everybody. There was probably, I'm thinking there was only like 50 of us in the workshop. So he like hung out with us the whole weekend long. So
he's a very impactful teacher. Him and Yogananda with the Autobiography of a Yogi and self-actualization and self-realization, and started talking about higher states of consciousness. And to me, an Western Christian, I was like, what are they talking about? You know? And even Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where it's self-actualization. I'm like, what is self-actualization?
Yeah.
So that's where Transcendental Meditation and Primordial Sound Meditation, they use the mantra. The word mantra is Sanskrit. It means tool for the mind. And the whole idea is to take a mantra, a vibration, something that doesn't have meaning. For example, if I say, I am strong, that's a mantra. I am powerful, but it has meaning to create. So you take these primordial sound mantras, or that really are their vibrational qualities. They don't, they just allow the mind to transcend thought, move into the gap where you kind of lose track of space and time, and you're in this place of where you're actually not bound by the mind. Can I just say something? So I go to a spa at Langtree, and I do vibration and sound therapy every day for 20 minutes it's called a vibrogenics. And what the girl was describing is how she was trained to say, like, sound therapy would equate to like the solfeggio frequencies, right? Which I use a lot. If I'm doing my red light therapy, I listen. But she's like, do you ever listen to a song, or you go to a Broadway show and it makes you cry and can't figure out why? It's not, I'm getting emotional right now thinking. Like, she's like, you don't even know what they're singing, but they sing at a certain pitch and you start crying. Like, the sound therapy is so strong, and I'm so eager to learn more about it. And like, you're driving down the road and like certain songs hit you a right way. Sometimes it's the words, but sometimes it's the frequency. And that is so exciting to me. That's really, so I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do have a question for you. TM versus primordial sound. Can you give me explain the differences? First of all, primordial sound is definitely way less expensive. I paid $1,000 to get my personal mantra, with Transcendental Meditation, and Primordial Sound Meditation is not nearly that much money at all. And but you do have to get it from a teacher. I'm a certified Primordial Sound Meditation teacher, so we have access to all the mantras. So the difference in TM is you get your mantra just kind of based in a group of your age category, and it's pretty generic. And my mantra was Shyama. What does
Shyama mean?
Right? I think it's a goddess, like a deity. So the name just never set well with me. I felt like I was just struggling constantly with that. Primordial sound comes from 108 sacred sounds, and it's based on Jyotish stars, astrology, planetary alignment, but it's based on the moon cycles. And the day you were born, time, place, the earth was making a sound, and I know when you listen to it, you're like,
I love it. But not at all. I think it's the coolest thing in the world.
It is so cool. So you get your own personalized vibration, and mine is BEM. You're not supposed to share it, but I just want people to think that it's not Om Bam Namaha is my full mantra, and because there's no meaning to it and it's vibration, my mind can anchor on that, and then the mind slowly just kind of transcends thought.
I wonder why you're not supposed to share it. That's interesting.
Because it's quiet. You keep the mantra quiet, and the power comes from quiet. But I will tell you the difference with all my meditations. When you do this type of meditation, like breath meditation is great if you're stressed, anxious, whatnot. You can change, the way your body's feeling. And then we're going to get into Heartmath, which we're going to save that for the end. But when you do, say, primordial sound meditation, and for some transcendental meditation, you literally experience different states of consciousness. You shift, you start seeing the world. It's almost like you live in the twilight zone. Sometimes you're like, is this reality? Is this reality? You're questioning reality
Why?
A lot.
How? Because
it gets you out of your mind. It gets you out of the confines of the mind. Like our mind, we have so many hats that we wear, roles that we wear. But it gets you past those identities to your true identity. So an image is an iceberg, right? What we know of ourselves is just the tip of the iceberg, but the real mass of the iceberg is under the water. So that imagery they would use a lot when I was teaching is that's who we really are. Yeah. And when you can quiet your mind, when you look into a lake or a pond and it's still, you see a reflection of yourself, right? Sure. So the whole idea is to get that mind still so that you can become to know yourself and who you truly are without your mind chatter.
Wendie has a husband, 2 sons, and a daughter. How are they? We only have about 20 seconds. How are they in response to this side of you? Because they're so lucky to have this.
Well, they've seen me, deal with my different states of trauma and whatnot. So they definitely see that it brings peace most of the time. Yeah. But my son sometimes will say, you teach all this, higher states of consciousness. You're not very aware sometimes.
Oh my God.
Just joking, but it's true.
My husband says that to me every time we argue. He's like, okay, Miss Yoga. I'm like, God damn you, screaming.
So true. And just because you have all this knowledge and training, we're human. It's like, that's over here and I'm here. And it's a journey, just like yoga, Yeah. I can't do all those crazy postures, but it's a journey and it's my journey. And I love it.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool. I mean, that we didn't mention this earlier, that Wendie has 2 boys and they're in their 20s and a daughter, and they're all 3 of them are in their 20s, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, she's got this whole big life going on. So, I'm excited to talk in the next segment to you, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this on really correlating Christianity and any given religion, I guess, that's not Hinduism, with doing yoga. So, guys, we will catch up with you in a few. We'll head on into segment 3 in just a couple minutes here on The Good Soul. Don't go away. Want a little bit more rainbows and unicorns in your life? Start your day with Good Soul Daily. Every morning, you'll find me in your inbox where I share a quick story, lesson, or quote to spark joy and inspiration. Come join our hundreds of daily readers and let's step into our new day together with my lighthearted, Pollyannic approach. I would be honored if you'd allow me into your heart and head where you are sure to be delighted and inspired. Text me over your email address to 704-618-7993 for your daily dose of happiness and reassurance that life is pretty darn awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to The Good Soul. We are on episode 78. We are talking meditation. And this is something that this part of meditation is correlating our chosen religions with yoga and meditation is something that I've grappled with in my life. I personally do have people in my one person in particular in my life who is regularly posting things on Facebook about how yoga is a ritual of the devil, and it's really so, it makes me so sad because I'm not qualified to defend it other than saying that, I mean, there's no part of religious dogma that we at least promote at Good Soul that it's a universal, and basically it's stretching your body if you want to come down to it for some people. But I've grappled that with her. I've considered calling her and saying, like, let's talk about this because you know me, you know my heart. Do you think that like I'm serving Satan by having a yoga studio? And I don't mean to be so harsh and use the S word, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. And I want to know, as if you hope I don't mind you say, you were raised Catholic, Christian, and how you reconciled. Was it Catholic or Christian? You consider yourself a Christian? Christian. Okay. How did you mesh the two worlds?
Well, in the beginning, during all my trainings, it was a whole new world to me, but I like to be open-minded. And of course, it was part of my training. So I would get tested on it. So I had to know it. But I always had my guards up. And I was so skeptical about everything. I was constantly going, well, I don't know that I believe that. And I was just, until I found Yogananda and the Autobiography of a Yogi. And he had a picture of Christ up, and his in his church, that it's called the Self-Actualization Fellowship Church now
in Los Angeles. I've been there,
and they have Jesus up there with the other teachers, gurus.
Sure.
There's the word gurus, and after that, I just kind of softened, and so that's why I really followed more of their teachings and writings, and I'd read a lot of their books, and I just felt like I was at home, and I could have both. I could have my Christian faith and religion, and I could have Eastern. And I used to tell my friends, I'm like, where'd the wise men come from? They're like, the East. I'm like, the Vedics. They had the Vedic. Yeah. They were yogis. I'm like, where did Jesus go after he was 12?
Yeah.
He went to the East back, and there's some books that write about that. I'm not authoritarian on that. Yeah. But anyway, some people write that he went and he learned from the Vedic teachers there. And then, so anyway, just something to think about. But if you read, some of the parts of the Bible, the New Gospels, some of those teachings are very similar to the Eastern. So my biggest thing is I like to find I like to find truth in all things. I like to bring truth together instead of picking things apart. I like to find how we're all one, the oneness of everything, the oneness of religion, the oneness of humanity. And so that's the way my brain, I just look for ways to link, not like tear apart. Divide. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, even I know this is a little bit off topic, but if you go to New Orleans and you look at Marie Laveau, who was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, there were so many elements of Christianity and the Catholic religion within even voodoo in New Orleans, which a lot of people see as an evil, which can be used for evil, but also can be used for a lot of good. So if you're interested in that, I feel like it's the same thing. There is Satchidananda has the Yogaville, and it's in, I think it's Richardsburg, Virginia. And that was always the premise of his whole thing, was bringing together. He would bring a priest, a rabbi, a monk, and, all into one place, and they would kind of congregate and honor one another. Tell me real quick, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but what is it about the but I don't know if anybody knows, but when Steve Jobs died, he handed out a copy of the Autobiography of a Yogi to everybody he did. His descendants handed out a copy of that book to everybody at his funeral. I don't know if you knew that or not. But what was it about that book? Because I try. I've never gotten through the whole thing. I listened to it. Actually, it's not per se that book. It's all the works that come after.
It's him. Okay.
It's him. And then the people he trained and their writings as well. It's just everything that comes out of his fellowship, his ashram that he set up. I don't know what you really call it, but his teachings that he set up. Yeah, like a
fellowship center. Yeah. It's in Pacific Palisades, or it's somewhere Eastern, Western Los Angeles. Okay, so Heartmath. I have never heard of the term Heartmath until basically yesterday when we started going over, we were going over show notes. So what is Heartmath?
Well, do you want me to tell you how I found it?
Yes, please. So, absolutely.
So I, had a traumatic childhood, and then something very traumatic happened with my daughter, and she was date raped.
Oh, God.
And so
okay.
it brought, sorry to bring that heaviness up, but it brought me
this is real life.
so in such a dark place, and all my trauma came back up again. And, I went to Sapria, which, by the way, if anyone is an adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse, Sapria is a free online service that is absolutely amazing.
Sapria. Okay.
Sapria. And at the same time I found Sapria and was doing that work, I also found Heartmath. And Heartmath was just so simple. And I immediately gravitated towards it. And I became a trained Heartmath trauma. I got trained in their trauma because I had so much trauma, and then my daughter's trauma. I had to get answers, and so I just I just dive right in. I'm like, I'm just going to get certified through this, and it's all science. It's all science backed. They've been doing research, 400 studies, and they've been doing research since the 1980s, late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
And there's it's absolutely amazing, but it's the science of the heart.
Okay.
So how you've heard you've got the gut brain, and they have neurons in your gut that talk to your brain. Well, they have the heart brain as well, and so there's 40,000 neurons. And they're afferent, meaning they communicate upwards, right? So we used to think before all this research that the brain controlled everything. But after Heartmath's research, they found that the brain and the heart are in constant communication, but the 80% of the communication goes from the heart to the brain.
How did they figure that out? That's really
They're
cool.
just studies and probes and all their 400 studies.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just, and that's what they found out, which is super amazing. And so what they realized is that the heart is really the conductor of the body, that heartbeat, right? And so, we can feel it in ourselves. When we are stressed, our heart rate goes up, and then the body reacts. There's this cascading effect throughout the whole body of stress.
Sure.
And then the amygdala gets wired for stress, because the amygdala is the part of the brain that it helps us interpret emotions. So if we're always stressed and anxious, then the amygdala is in overdrive, and it's sending out all these signals and neural pathways to the rest of the body.
I would know nothing about that.
Yeah. But what they found with Heartmath is that the amygdala actually softens, and the size smaller. And when you're doing Heartmath, you just connect with the heartbeat, the rhythm, and then you get this entrainment. So when the heart is calm, it's got that lovely, solid, calm beat, and it's like the conductor of the body, and there's this entrainment. So the rest of the body kind of syncs up with this heart, and that's how you get in heart coherence.
Yeah. I am really thrilled in our next segment, because we only have 10 seconds to go. What I'm really excited to hear about is the difference in methodology between, so what do we do in meditation when we're doing Heartmath? So guys, Wendie's going to be nice enough to take us through a 3-minute Heartmath meditation. So don't go away. Segment 4 is coming up. Get your comfy clothes on, maybe grab a pillow, and meet us on the flip side here in The Good Soul. Who isn't looking to get happy and healthy and empower themselves in an extraordinary fitness community? At Good Soul Hot Yoga, we offer life-changing yoga, strength training, cycling, and relaxing therapeutic classes that will make everything in your life feel better. For some power, balance, and peace of mind, we will deliver. Come experience our spa-like wonderland in the center of Mooresville. We will become your happy place. Welcome back, everybody, to The Good Soul. I am Patti Alvarez. I'm here with the amazing Wendie Dunn. I'm so honored to have you. The show has been so much fun, and I've really been learning a lot, despite the fact that I own a yoga studio. I am more of a Bikram girl, where, yes, we call it a moving meditation, but the yoga I do is very athletic driven, very discipline driven, very Wendy will tell you, like it's a different type of yoga.
Which we need too.
What's that?
We need that too.
We need that too. Yeah. I think too much of it sometimes. So, so this is where I need meditation and I need more of an education from you. So we had talked on the break and you wanted to talk about how how Heartmath helped you to kind of rid yourself of, you use the word anger, but I would venture to say any negative emotion or feeling.
Yeah. I think Heartmath is really accessible to everyone as well. So the Heartmath Institute, I would really recommend looking it up. They have free online videos.
Is it an American? Okay. Where are they out of?
California. And they have so much. They have so much to offer, and they're trying to just they're doing global meditations. It's amazing. Okay. I recommend anyone to go do it. It will help you with parenting, in your marriage. It will help with your children. They have all these videos and they have activities. It's just a wealth of information.
That's great. So for all ages.
All ages. And I believe it is, for me, it was the most transformational in, it can be done anywhere at any time, and you can be doing it. You can do it in a room. You could do it driving, and basically, you can once you have an emotion that comes up. And as I was telling you, I was going through with what my daughter was going through, and it triggered all my stuff. I had so many emotions and so much anger, and I'm like, I have to learn how to transform this. And with Heartmath, you literally, when you're stuck in that emotion, you focus in on breathing through the heart, and we'll do that here in just a minute. And then you focus in on gratitude and those emotions of love and gratitude, and you try to create and connect with an experience. And it literally can help you move through those stuck negative emotions. You actually can get to the other side of them and free yourself.
Are you going to help free me?
Yeah.
And our listeners?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get started on our 3-minute meditation, guys. I know this goes without saying, but if you're driving, no need to close your eyes. Maybe you want to pull over to partake in this or hit pause and come back to us. But how do you want me sitting? You want me sitting comfortable, like Rafiki?
Yes.
All right, cool.
All right.
Hands anywhere.
We're going to place your hands on your heart. Actually.
Oh, wow. Yes. And it doesn't matter which goes first, right or left?
It does not matter.
Okay.
You're going to close your eyes and just begin to breathe and let the breath move in through the heart. And you're going to feel that connection. Maybe you feel your heartbeat, and allow your shoulders to soften, and keep your awareness on that breath as it moves in and out of the heart. You're grounding, connecting with your heart center. Maybe find a rhythm with your breath. 5 count inhale, 5 count exhale. Being aware with whatever's showing up, and then bring your awareness back to your heart. And now we're going to bring our awareness to a person, place that brings you love. We're going to create that emotion right now in this meditation. What does it feel like when you're connecting with someone or something that you love? Something that you are grateful for. And bring those emotions in your experience. And notice how your mind and your body starts to shift as you focus on emotions of gratitude, love, appreciation. Staying connected with those thoughts, maybe perhaps including another person, place, animal maybe. Just filling your heart, your mind, your breath with love and gratitude. Keeping the breaths long, fluid. And then slowly begin to open your eyes. Tell me what you've experienced.
Well, it's funny that we are talking about gratitude in this meditation because I can't remember the name of the book that I read, but it's called like Happier Human or something. It was a great book. And one of the things he talked about is to focus on gratitude. And I'm also using this Fabulous app, which is like a happiness app. And because basically, if you're focused on the things that you're grateful for, instead of worrying about like 90% of things we worry about don't even happen, then your life is just going to continue to flourish and thrive and get better and better. But also for me, like conversely, like I don't want to live, kind of in the dark. I want to have a balance between, or I don't want to live in the clouds. I want to have a balance between being grounded, having my feet on the ground and enjoying my life, and not always being really, really sad or really, really happy, but somewhere we're in the middle. And I remember I had a professor in college, in one of my one of two semesters I went to college, and he reminds me of Morgan Freeman. He was a very distinguished, like very pleasant, such a lovely man. And I remember he said, he was teaching us about meditation, and he said, you can do that anywhere. Like you said, you could be doing it sitting in a light, sitting on the train, sitting, at Thanksgiving dinner with your family, if you can find that peace. And then I think I explained this. I don't know if you ever read this in the email I've written, but I always, Mrs. Sutton was my theater teacher in high school. And she laid us all down on the theater floor and she talked us through meditation. And I remember being like, my heart is tingling. Like I had this feeling, it was like somebody was giving me the tickles. And I couldn't like articulate. Now, my friend Stacy, have you ever heard of Traeger therapy? It's something to do with like being in the womb or like they like rock you. I wish she, powerful. Yeah. And like, she's like, and you get triggered at the strangest times. Like, I don't want to get too deep because we only have a few minutes left, but like sometimes when Fabian is over at my house, he's cleaning. And he's sweeping, I get triggered. I get relaxed watching him sweep. And she said it because it takes you back to your childhood and like your mother and being all that stuff. But let's wrap this up with a great takeaway for our listeners and for me is, what do you think the greatest benefit of meditation is that people are going to see? What do you think they're going to see?
Twofold. Well, if you have a meditation practice like my primordial sound meditation, you do it twice a day for 20 minutes, you really can begin to experience life differently. And it's really hard to explain. It's an experience and it's definitely felt. And that's definitely one practice. But then you also have something as simple as Heartmath that you can do anywhere, anytime, any place. And it's so good for your body, for your emptying your cup, for your stress, and as you create that heart coherence from focusing on those higher states of consciousness, which is love, gratitude. They're much higher than fear, shame, and guilt. Like on this ladder of consciousness, which is the book I gave you, you see fear, shame, and guilt are down here. They're very low frequency vibrational emotions. Love, gratitude, and appreciation. So as you spend more time with those emotions, your heart becomes more coherent, and your your heart gives off this this vibe, right? Frequency. And so you can actually change the world when be the change you want to see in the world. That's it. We become love when we can learn to step in and become love at any time and shift wherever we are. That's where the power is.
Do you ever, I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off. No. Do you ever know when you're in that vibe, like when you're in that frequency, like when you walk in and you could see like people like, you know, they get like you completely can transform their whole essence by having that, like, yeah. And that's why I love so much what we do at the studio, and what you're doing too is, you know, it's transforming lives. And like you said, it's being the change, but it's also inspiring people to live as their highest selves. And I think the two most powerful words that we can take away from this session we've spent together is love and gratitude. And they're so simple and so woo-woo-y, but wouldn't you agree that there's nothing more powerful, as you said to me?
Science proves they make the difference, like in your body, your mind, your soul. Yeah.
Yes. Love and gratitude. And what did you say to me that I don't think you said on camera? And Bob Marley said the same thing. Or no, it was Ziggy Marley said the same thing.
What? All we need is love?
That was the Beatles. No, love is my religion.
Love is my religion. No, love is my religion. It is. Love is my religion.
Yeah. And I always say this too, like, if you're that down and things are that tough, especially if you're a parent or you have elderly parents relying on you, there are so many channels and so many resources and books and podcasts. Find a way to get your head together. Because you're going to wake up one day, you're going to have more years behind you than you have ahead of you. And we all do have the power. And it's people like Wendie and tools like meditation that help take us there. So guys, thank you. On behalf of the audience, thank you, Wendie. You're fantastic. And I love having you. And I would love to have you do meditation workshop at the studio. I said that on camera. So that's it. We have proof. Guys, love you all so much. Thanks for being here. We missed you, Manny, today. We'll see you next week here on The Good Soul. So keep coming back.